Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Hyper Light Drifer. This game was developed by Heart Machine, the guys who created the original Hyper Light Drifer, and is published by Arc Games, who released the excellent Remnant series. I'm a big fan of the Hyper Light series myself, so I was very excited when the developers reached out for me to cover Hyper Light Drifer. The problems began when I tried to open the game. Like many other content creators, I found there was a game-breaking bug. One that prevented us from accessing the game for over 3 weeks. When I finally got access, I found a myriad of other problems. Performance issues, issues with enemy AI, issues with clipping, and a series of baffling design decisions that made the game so hard it would make FromSoft blush. Now, this made for a very rough release. The developer has gone on record saying they are trying to fix the problems. They have listened to our feedback, and to their credit, the game has had some massive improvements. But the question is, will this game win back the goodwill of players? I really hope so, because there is a fantastic game hidden beneath all of these issues. So, we're going to have a look at the current state of Hyper Light Drifer. Now, due to the issues I mentioned in my intro, it has impacted my ability to spend extended time in the game. But I have spent about 12 hours learning the game mechanics and combat, and turning myself into a formidable warrior. Now, the story goes we are a breaker, a group of guardians who try to keep the overworld safe from the Nightmare King. Now, currently he is running rampant through the overworld, and it's our job to not only stop him, but his 4 pillar guardians. Now, even getting to one of the bosses is quite an undertaking in itself. We're not in any shape to be able to take on the Nightmare King just yet, but we're going to try and take on the first boss of the game. I've currently got a pretty good loadout here, with some very high quality weapons, abilities, perks that suit my playstyle quite well. So let's venture into the overworld in pursuit of the Nightmare King. Welcome to the overworld. Our goal is to stop the Nightmare King, and we do this by defeating his 4 lieutenants called the Crowns. Now, in order to get to the Crowns, we need to unlock the gates, which are in the form of these pillar guardians here. These prisms we need to collect in order to open the way to these bosses. So what I'm going to do is we're going to head out. And my goal today is not going to be to conquer every single area of the island to find every single item, but I am going to try and take on the first, and if we get time, maybe the second boss in the game. Now, I have managed to defeat 2 out of the 4 bosses, but there is a random boss register. So that means that anytime you go to a boss, there's not guaranteed you're going to be fighting the same one each time. Now, the game world is quite vast, but most of the time you're actually going to be going around looking for items, going to each of these chests, these guns, because you're going to need gear. But today my goal is not to get gear, it's to get to the boss. So we're going to navigate to each of these points of interest. We're going to take on each of these guardian bosses. The first one being here. And then finally, we're going to take on the Crowns. Now, before I can even take this guy on, I need to destroy his minions. Make this a fair fight. Somewhat fair. Oh. Doesn't help me when there's explosive barrels littered all over the map. And my enemies are flyers as well. But thanks to some slick movement, we managed to take them out. Then when the boss is gone, he's got himself stuck in a wall. And that's something that's going to happen pretty commonly in this game. In fact, I think this is going to work in our favour, as long as we stay away from the water. Probably not. Well, I can't get to him when he's over the water. Oh, I missed my special attack. That's okay. He's pretty badly hurt. And not only is this an awesome weapon, it actually does fire damage as well. So the amount of damage I did to him was enough for the fire damage to finish the job. So we've now destroyed the first of the bosses, or the guardians, to get us to the crown. Unfortunately, you are going to end up with enemies. There is an aggro system in the game, so you do need to be careful. We're going to get out of here. There's nothing to be gained by fighting these guys, except a bit of money. As I said before, though, we're going to be concentrating on trying to take out the bosses. Now, there are a number of biomes across the map. We're in one of the easier ones. And it's going to get progressively harder as we take out these guardians. Just letting my hoverboard recharge. Beautiful. So I'm immediately going for the hardest challenge. Bust my way through to the bosses and take them on. So, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. It really depends on which boss you get. There's a couple of them that are really nasty I haven't been able to defeat yet. Okay, so here, this is the second prism we need to gather. Unfortunately, the person guardian is not going to give it up easy, so... This guy's got a ranged attack, so he's really... All I have to do is just keep dodging his attacks. He's nearly dead. You just have to keep pouring on. He does have a shotgun though, so you need to be really careful. You can see my health getting really hammered by this guy. Excellent. So that's the second prism gathered. Now, every time you defeat one of these prism holders, not only do you open another gate, but it also does replenish part or all of your health. That is a long way away. Let's hit the closest prisms first. Now, as if everything wasn't hard enough, we have another element to consider. And that is the time limit. Now, there's a limit on every single run, and if you take too long, you can see that there's a yellow bar at the bottom of the screen. Once that reaches 50%, well, they're going to start sending assassins after me, and these assassins are far tougher than anything you're going to experience. We want to be long gone by the time these guys show up. So I'm probably not going to be able to get all of the prisms in this one run. We're going to have to do a run, get a few prisms, do another run, and get a few more. But thankfully, due to your hoverboard and also your glider, you can move across the map at breakneck speed. I believe I've seen you before. Thanks to our very high-end gear, we smashed that out, literally. Now, obviously, what I'm rocking at the moment is level 5 melee weapons, This pistol's also very high level. You are not going to have this easier of a time in the game, but given the ridiculous difficulty, I am happy to take every break I can get. I'm also rocking some pretty powerful armor that, as you can see, it does largely soak up most of the damage that I take. So we need to take out this other prism, and I cannot for the life of me find it. Maybe it's down there. Apparently it's down. So I'm guessing there will be a tunnel or an elevator going down. Because it's right here, and I cannot see it. And there's nothing down there either, so let's get some elevation. You don't need to get all of the prisms. I thought I'd try and get all of them. I mean, but the time is running out. It is against us, so we may have to abandon this run. Well, at least complete this run and then try and go for another one. Every time you take on a prism or destroy a prism, it does increase the danger level. As you can see, the yellow bar at the right is kind of getting close to that 50%, and I think we may have to bust on out of here. That's the one we couldn't see, so let's head on out. I mean, 3 out of 5 is pretty good for our first run. I'm not going to push my luck. Now here's our extraction point. Anyone who's played any extraction shooter will be immediately understanding what we need to do. We have to survive until our extraction is ready. Now obviously the more further you are into the world, the worse the enemies are going to get, and the harder it is going to be to extract. So you also need to make sure that you are extracting when you have a lot of high value goods, because if you don't extract and if you die in battle and you have some high end gear, you are going to lose that gear. Now as you can see, I have been doing a lot of practice here. I've got some really high-end gear, so it's making this a bit of a joke. But trust me, I worked very hard to get there. So let's see what we got. 200 bright blood, which is the currency in the game. A core. The cores are very expensive. That is a fantastic item to have. You can only find them in the overworld, and we can use them to upgrade our character. So we're ready to head in for our second run and try and gather some more goodies. For our second run, we want to get the last of the prisms. I'm going to start with this one here. And it's going to be a bit of a stretch to get this in two. I think it's going to take 3 runs to get them all. I believe this is the one that I got stuck at last time, so I'm guessing there's an elevator here somewhere. So we're going to investigate a little bit closer this time. Now I have a bit more time. Now, keeping in mind that you want to make sure you are working as quickly as possible and always moving towards that extraction point. You never want to be on the other side of the map when the assassins come. You want to keep an eye on your your current location, and keep an eye on the danger meter at the bottom. You can see it's very low. The danger meter will only go up as I take on enemies, as I collect prisms, collect items. That's what's going to drop that danger meter into the red. So I'm going to try and move upwards here and see. I just want to take a look at the area. See if I can scope out where... Ah, I see you. I see you. So this is where we need to go. This is a lift down here. It is guarded, so we're going to have to do a little bit of housekeeping. You guys, no match for me. Okay, so this lift will take us down. We do need a key, so I think that prism may be one that we'll skip for now. Because keys are very hard to find. They are scattered about the island, but I would have to go all around looking for a key. I may end up searching half the island, doing another 3 or 4 runs to get to it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to the other prisms, and we're going to focus on them. I've gone the wrong way. So in order to take on the last boss, we need to get all of the prisms. But that's going to be a future video. I just want to try and take on the first boss, and maybe the second. We'll see how we go. Unfortunately, some very mobile enemies like these guys. They're very hard to dodge. Gonna get out of here. Often I will kill those guys on principle because they're almost impossible to dodge without getting hurt. Now, I'm not too worried. I do have my med kits on me. Keeping in mind that these are not standard, I had to defeat 2 or 3 of the bosses in order to unlock them. So just keeping in mind when you start the game, although that may have changed. I believe the developers have made some design changes, but at the time I started playing this, the med kits, along with a lot of other basic quality of life stuff, was bafflingly locked behind an upgrade. Like, the ability to heal yourself being locked behind an upgrade, I found that very, very interesting choice by the developer, shall we say. Oh, getting careless here. That's what happens when you try and speedrun. We need to get strategic. We need to start cleaning house. Ooh. Okay, well, we're taking a fair beating from this. Success! Now, in this particular run, most of the Prism Guardians seem to be the same boss. Like, I've fought that flying boss 3 times now. Every single boss seems to be that particular one. Let's head up here and get the next prism. Again, it is random. There's a lot of RNG involved in this game. So sometimes you'll get a bunch of really nice upgrades. Sometimes you get a batch of really tough bosses, and then other times you'll just end up getting all of the same. I'd probably say that the game's random generation is a bit hit and miss too. Like most of the islands, these are supposed to be procedurally generated, but to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of variety in what we see here. You know, for a procedurally generated map, the biomes are almost identical each time. And you're going to be doing dozens of runs through here, so I really think a bit of variety is really needed. Our danger meter is still quite low, so I don't know if I want to take on a boss, though. We'll see where he is relative to the exit. I reckon if I can get in and take a boss out, we might even have time to take on two. We'll see how we go. Now, when you're taking on a prism boss, you want to try and make sure you kill everything in the way, because as you can see, ouch, that hurt. That was worth it though. As you can see, certain enemies have abilities, and those abilities can... Whoop. It seems in this case, we didn't have to fight a boss. So some of the prisms are just guarded. There we go. We've got 4 out of 5 prisms, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I reckon we can. I reckon we can take out the first boss, because he's pretty close. He's right next to the exit. That's a gimme boss, so let's do that. I'm full health. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. This is going to be a rough one, though. Oop. And thankfully, this isn't death. I thought falling in the water would kill you, but apart from taking a little bit of damage, it's not too bad. That's what you get for being careless, though. So falling in water will give you a random damage. Sometimes you'll take fire damage. In my case, it was poison, or crystal damage, I should say. Excellent. So we made it to our first boss, and this is, I believe this is the wolf boss. This is a very tough boss. I don't know how I'm going to go. I beat him by the skin of my teeth the last time. Very, very tough. He has a number of area of effect attacks, and he also he summons a huge amount of smaller enemies as well. Most of the bosses do. It is. This is going to be rough. This guy, he's brutal. I barely beat him last time, so let's see how we go. Ouch! Oh, luckily I've got this new armor. Oh, mistimed that. Nice try, buddy. Oh, it's not good. That hurt. Oh, we need to heal. Here comes the bullet hell section of the map. In order to beat this guy, we need to actually stay close. Oh, that was actually quite easy. Dominated. I'll take that. And we've got some, wow, we've got some excellent upgrades. Look at this grinder. This is actually a long-range rifle, very powerful. As you can see too, the very good stats. We're taking that. I'm going to cache it for now, which means we're going to hang on to it. Oh, I'm going to take this as well. So this is going to give me an extra charge for my attack. So we're definitely taking that. And finally, this little bad boy here, the Abyss Stones, are what gives us our Medikit upgrades. So we're definitely taking that. That is some nice gear. So let's have a look around. I reckon we got it all. Let's head out. We're going to have time to take on the second boss. Now that boss, keeping it in perspective, I barely defeated. We just rolled him. Absolutely rolled him. I don't even think I used both my medkits. No, I didn't. I had one medkit left in the tank, so that was actually a pretty easy win. Now we've got one more boss, and I think we're going to take him on in a future run. I thought we'd just take on the first boss in this video, but we're actually going to take on the second. Now, because we've taken out one of the crown bosses, the enemy's going to be a bit tougher here. Ouch. Okay, let's see if I can even things up a bit. Now, I am a tank class. As you can see, most of my skills go towards two-handed weapon use. And the weapon I'm using is a two-handed hammer, very, very powerful, fully upgraded as far as I can. And in order to defeat the bosses, you've got to upgrade your weapons fully. And it takes a ton of upgrades. 12 hours of work. So having a look at the blacksmith here, you can see I've fully upgraded him. So he does up to tier 5 upgrades, and all my weapons, apart from these new ones we picked up, are fully upgraded. And wow, he's selling even better stuff. But I think what we'll do for now is we're going to actually take on the second boss, because we've got a little bit more time, and that went a hell of a lot better than what I thought. Now, I didn't realise, but that last boss battle netted me a key. So you know what we can do? We can open the last prism, and we can let it ride, baby. We can go for all the bosses. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to head over to the previously locked lift. We're going to head down there. We're going to claim ourselves that prism. And with that, we can unlock the final gate. Didn't think I'd be able to do it. Now, as I recall, there is a lift. Aha! Now, it could get pretty dicey down there, so I think it's in our best interest to clear the immediate area. Try not to get hit while I'm doing it. Beautiful. We may, depending on how things go, may have to make a hasty exit, so bit of preparation never hurts. So we're going to use our brand new key. We're going to head down here, get ourselves that prism. Now, it is going to be a bit of a gauntlet. This is going to be brutal. I am going to wait for these guys, try and roll up on them. We're going to take damage no matter what here. We're in a very, very small, confined space. But I've been saving that special move. My Shatter Gauntlet. This is gonna hurt. These guys got all the advantages. It's just one long corridor. I had nowhere to dodge to. We just had to take the hits. Not too bad, not too bad. And thankfully this prism, once we collect it, is going to restore a good chunk of our life. And also over here, do you see these bad boys here? These are gold rations. Very, very useful. They are what we will be using to upgrade the vendors to give us better products, and also we can use gold rations on upgrades for ourselves. Very nice, very nice. These underground areas, very dangerous, but also if you can brave the onslaught of enemies, you can get your hands on some of the rarest items in the game. But it is literally a gauntlet of non-stop enemies in a very confined space, so not something I recommend you do. At least until you've cleared the entire map and you've got the best gear you can get your hands on. Well, you, my friend, you win the award for dumb enemy, because I was going to let you live. Now we've got 2 bosses left to go. You're next, my friend. Now either I am a lot better than I was when I was previously playing this game, or we've just had a bit of luck, and I think it's a little bit of both. Now, it depends on the boss. If I haven't fought them and I haven't worked out their attack patterns, this fight's going to go really badly for me. But I said we're going to attempt it. I have actually fought this boss. He's pretty rough. I think I have defeated him though. But once again, it was a very close battle, because he's pretty much, yeah, he's range spec'd 100%. And ouch. And he's also very hard to keep track of. Oh, he dodged my attack. He knew it was coming. Oof. There goes my first med kit. I mean, this is not looking good. We haven't got him down to half health yet. Oh, that was a solid hit, though. Oh, it's not looking good. Not looking good. Last med kit. He's in his second phase. This is going to be very close. So I can't get any charged attacks because... Ooh, that was a good one. Oh, this is going to be so close. Look at that health bar. Just a game of attrition now. Oh, so many puppies. Oh, that was, look at my health. I used both of my health kits. Skin of the teeth. Now we got some really powerful boons from that. On kill, gain 30% damage for 3 seconds. That's going to be really handy for fights. I think we're going to take that. We got to have that. Extra stamina. Yeah, let's take it. That means that I can strategically kill enemies. Ooh, when dashing, all projectiles that hit you were reflected back. Yes, please. I'll take that. So it's some very powerful boons. That was one brutal fight. We got to get to the exit though. We are in really, really bad shape. I barely won that fight. Okay, we're headed straight to the exit. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. A win's a win. Might have been by the skin of my teeth, but he's in the ground and I'm not. So I'm going to take it. Now, with no medical kits, I'm going to scrape by. It's going to be really difficult, I reckon. Oh, damn. As if I didn't need to lose more health. That was a very stupid mistake. Yeah, unfortunately, I just saw the danger bar is completely maxed out because we fought that boss. We're going to have every single enemy on the map gunning for us. That's why they're attacking me non-stop. Look at that. So the danger bar is maxed. It means enemies are just not going to stop. You have to get out of here as quick as possible, which is exactly what we're going to do. We busting out of here with the quickness. Ouch. Every hit is we're getting closer to inevitability. I do not want to die to mobs after that massive victory against the crown boss. Whew. Now, I didn't get a chance to look at my health, but I can't imagine I would have had more than maybe 20, 30 health. Maybe one hit away, 1 or 2 hits away from death. That was one very, very nice haul, though. Now we've actually only got one more boss to take on, and we've completely cleared the board. We're ready for the Nightmare King. Now, after the success of the last 3 boss battles, I have to take on the last one. We can't leave our mission unfinished. So win or lose, we are going to tackle the 4th crown boss. Now, can I beat them? I don't know. Probably not. The last battle we barely made. We managed to pull that out of a hat, and this battle is going to be harder even still. But this is the furthest I've ever made it in any run I've done in the game so far. So obviously I have improved. My skills have gotten better, and the gear I've got is very high end. So we got to test it out. We have to test it out. Now, of course, all the bosses are random. I have no idea what I'm up against. It could be a nice, easy boss. It could be a repeat of one we've already fought. Even the boss is at the top of this gigantic mountain that we have to scale. And scale we shall. Although I may take a shortcut if I can. There we go. Okay, time to meet with destiny. Whether we win or lose, we've made an incredible achievement making it this far. 12 hours of work and change put into this, for this moment. We're up against the same boss as before, but he's not the same. Look at his damage. Look at the damage he's doing to me. One hit of that sword takes nearly half my life. We cannot afford any mistakes. Come on, baby. We can do it. Get wrecked. Half-life. We can do it. We can do this. Oh, no. Here come the wave of attacks. But we have got some pillars this time. Oh no, my health. Oh no, oh no. It's the army of wolves he's got working for him. Oh, what a dodge! I don't know if we can beat him. His health is still looking pretty good. Time to fill him full of lead. Ow! 6 health. Oh no! I tell you what though, we had him down to about 20% health. I reckon with a bit more practice we would have done that. But here endeth our run. Unfortunately I have lost my gear. I'm going to have to go and get some more. But that is the breaks. When you die, you do lose some of your gear each time. So the game does encourage you to try and build up a character, build up gear, get some spare gear, so that when you die, you can replace it easy enough. I do have a vault with spare gear, so it's not a huge loss. I do have some backup weapons and gear, but I think we're going to leave it here. It was an excellent run. We managed to get 3 out of the 4 crown bosses destroyed, and I've made it further than I've ever made it in the past. So that is quite an achievement. Now, my final thoughts on the game. Obviously, I really enjoy the game in its current state where I am now, but the problem is that there are so many bugs when the game first came out, so many issues, and there still are a lot of these issues here now, so it makes it a little bit hard for me to recommend. But I've seen these huge changes that the developers have made. They've already made a lot of improvements to the game. Just the question is that whether players are going to be willing to work through the 6 or 7 hours it takes to get to a point where your character is in a state where you can survive the overworld. There's a lot of grinding in the early game, and there's a lot of upgrades like being able to hold a med kit, quality of life stuff which should not be locked behind an upgrade, something where you have to die several times just to be able to heal yourself. Most of the stuff I'm carrying, as I said, took me 12 hours to get. So I just don't know if players are going to be willing to spend that period of time to get to a point where they can get to the more enjoyable end-game content, or not even end-game content, but just get to a point where you can beat any of the 4 bosses in the game. Because you really do need some very, very powerful gear to even stand a chance as you saw today. Now, obviously there's a bit of skill-based involvement too, but it's all about the upgrades in the game, and the problem is at the moment that the skill tree is most of the items are completely useless. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. Most of this stuff is completely useless. There's upgrades to increase the amount of time you can spend on the board. Useless. Parries. I wouldn't say useless, but for most characters you're not going to have much time to parry, and there is an execution system in the game which largely makes this pointless. I prefer the execution system. Vault slots, you can carry more weapons, big whoop. We need upgrades to medkits, and these medkit upgrades are really the only ones you want to invest in. So most of these upgrades are completely useless, and I think the upgrade system and the upgrade tree needs a complete overhaul. Most of the stuff, quality of life stuff, shouldn't be blocked. You should be able to carry a couple of med kits with you at the very least, have some sort of healing system, or some sort of upgrade system where you can spend your upgrade points and your bright blood that make your character feel a bit more meaningful, a bit more powerful. But most of this stuff the developer is working on, and I really do hope that they can get this game into a state where players are going to come back, because I feel that with the community that the release was so rough. I think that a lot of players aren't going to return to the game, which is a real shame, because it is, as you can see, a really fun experience. It's just that you have to do quite a lot of work to get there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you are going to check out the game, let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave me a like, leave me a subscribe. Thank you to the developers, and hopefully you join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.